So now several different polls came out showing that Hillary Clinton is basically tied with Donald Trump. The Quinnipiac poll has her with small 1 to 2 point edge in Florida and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, she should have a huge edge in, right? Democrats haven't lost Pennsylvania in a general election in a long, long time. And you need 2 out of those 3 states. No one, a Republican or Democrat, has won since 1960 without 2 out of those 3 states, okay? In Ohio, she's losing to Trump by 4 points, okay?
Time to freak out.
Yeah, so, like, that's, if you're going to freak out, that would be a thing to freak out about, right? And so every pundit today, hey, just be calm, it's no big deal. And by the way, that's not the only poll. Public policy polling has her up only 4 points nationally, with huge negative ratings, unfavorables, doing poorly among independents. There's a new NBC News poll out, only up by 5 points. In that one, Bernie Sanders is up by 13 points against Donald Trump. In that same poll, every single poll has Bernie Sanders way ahead of Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump.
Yep.
And every pundit on TV today is saying, oh, don't worry, polls, math. No, we kick people off of planes for math. No, it's nonsense. And don't freak out. And so the reason I brought this up, sorry, Anna, give me one more second, is because Huffington Post's Natalie Jackson did a story literally called "Don't Freak Out" over the poll showing Trump leading Clinton in Ohio.
No, that's what you should freak out over.
So she's taking
my thing.
Not only that, she did a chart at the end with point number 1, don't freak out. Point number 4, don't freak out.
What?
And just wait like
Jimmy's
3
literally,
months before
can I
freaking
just say,
out.
Jimmy's literally wearing a shirt called "Don't Freak Out" because that's his saying from this campaign. Like, if
This campaign.
about Bernie Sanders, like, yeah, you know, on Super Tuesday he had some losses, March 15th losses.
Don't freak
but
out.
Don't freak out. That's a hashtag. That's everything. Now they're taking it and using it in favor of Hillary Clinton.
They're bastardizing what the "don't freak out" meme.
Yeah, it's a perfect symbolism for the election. Just co-opt whatever Bernie Sanders is doing and transfer it over to Hillary Clinton, right? That's what she's been doing the whole primary, right? They even took Don't Freak Out. Soon they'll be whispering of a dream.
Cenk, those numbers that you were talking about were pretty scary, especially Ohio, like, because we want to win Ohio. But Chuck Todd just tweeted out that the support for Trump in Ohio is really just a lack of support for Hillary Clinton. So it doesn't really mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
I wanted to make a point about the polls, which, by the way, conversations about polls, as you guys already know, drive me crazy because I think that they should be taken with a grain of salt. But with that said, right, my opinion on polls has been consistent regardless of what they indicate for Bernie Sanders. But when it comes to these unbearable political pundits, when polls indicated that Bernie Sanders wasn't a viable candidate early on in the election cycle, they were like, oh my God, would you look at the polls? He's not viable. Get the fuck out of here, Bernie, right? But now all of a sudden you see Hillary very close to losing in the general election to Trump, at least in these swing states. And people are like, these polls are bullshit. Anyway, let's move on.
No, Anna's got the best point. That is so undeniably true. I mean, if you want to bother, go back and check it out. But we did videos about it. So, and there was never a poll, I mean, literally as far back as I can remember, you can go back 4 months, maybe 6 months, where Bernie Sanders did worse in a general election than Hillary Clinton. But what she's referring to is in the beginning, when nobody knew who Bernie Sanders was. The campaign hadn't started. It was a little over a year ago, and he's down by 60 points. And they're like, not viable. Down by 60 points. Bernie Sanders. Look at the polling. Look at the polling. Look, I'm sorry, but look at the polling. You should not take this guy seriously.
Yeah, I mean, no one knows he's running yet, but still, look at the polling.
And I'll go further than that. I remember they would quote polls in states that were going to vote in 2-3 months later. And they'd have a poll that was done a month ago. It's super outdated. They're like, he's never going to win in New York. Okay, but wait a minute. You polled it like 2 months earlier, and New York doesn't vote for 2 months. No, look at the polls. Look at the polls, right? Yeah. Now, every single poll for the last, like I said, 4 to 6 months has had Bernie Sanders doing not a little better, much better than Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump or any of the Republican candidates. Now, polls don't mean anything. You know what Nate Silver said today? It's just noise. But
I was just going to bring that up.
But Nate, your job is to look at polling. That's your whole job. So your whole job is noise?
Noise.
Well, no, but that's
Yeah.
the amazing thing is that he's not even wrong. There is natural variability. There are twists and turns, and there is noise. And so it goes up and down a little bit. But if the whole time it's going up and down, Bernie's up here, I don't give a fuck about the noise.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
never reaching anywhere near there. It ain't that noisy.
Yeah, and so it is just one excuse after another, because everybody in Washington and New York, they don't know this. If you told them you love Hillary Clinton, they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's outrageous. That's not true, right? We're very tough on the Clintons and yada, yada. No, she's the establishment. They're the establishment. And it's an unconscious bias where they're like, no, she's good. She's a really good politician. She's going to win the election, right? Bernie Sanders, it's an unconscious bias. They're like, oh, no, I don't mind Bernie. Bernie's perfectly pleasant. You think he can win? No, he can't win. He definitely can't win. Hey, why are you freaking out?
Why are you freaking out?
Yeah,
Right?
don't freak out.
Right. The reason is because they get a sense that he might change the system, and they are the system, right? So all those people in power that you see on television writing all these articles, they are massively biased. And they've shown that bias over and over again. And now you have all these polls that today, three different polls, all saying, so it's not just the noise of one poll, and that's the number one thing they say, just like John said, oh, just one poll. They ignore it, right? No, it's 3 polls today, right? Let alone dozens of polls before that, all saying the same thing. It's noise. Yeah, it's the noise screaming, Bernie Sanders is more electable. But you keep ignoring it because you don't want him to win. So, look, I say this when it might be too late. I understand that, right? And so their response to me will be, oh, yeah. Oh, you're just complaining about it. It's too late. Ha ha.
Sour grapes. You just wanted him to win, and he's not.
Right. So, ha ha, we put a hatchet in his back, even though you were completely right? And now you're rubbing it in our face that you were right, okay? And now we're saying, ha ha, it's too late. We got the worst candidate. Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations. So all those people, and the number one argument they made for months, you remember, was no, Bernie's got to go because we can't let Trump win.
Can't let Trump win.
We can't let Trump win. Now you show them every goddamn poll saying Bernie does much better against Trump than Hillary Clinton. It's the noise. Paul Begala on CNN today said it's artificial. What's artificial about it? When the polls are on your side, they're perfectly natural.
Yeah.
When they're against you, they're artificial.
He only consumes organic free-range polls.